Are you using any of this in video or not?
Yeah, I will be. And I'll do the videos that you never share or like or appreciate.
Oh, here we go. I'll share your.
These Three Media. Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
I did a radio based. I was a guest on somebody's radio based podcast.
I hope you mentioned us.
No, it was purely about radio. He says, I know you do your own podcast. He said it's just about being on the radio. I went, right, okay.
Darren.
No,
you can get it out there, irrespective. Fucking say it. Jesus.
Anyway, a bit of a coup then. We've got Neil Bentley. Dead happy with that.
I can't believe you didn't promote it.
Right, okay, whatever.
We've got to get our promotion up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Shall we start?
Fool.
These Three Media. Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
Hello, welcome to Three Men and a Microphone from These Three Media. Thank you so much for downloading this episode. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Damien. Damien? 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 Damien! Yeah, he's not here. Hello, Darren.
Hi, just me and you. We've done this before together, haven't we, on our own?
We have done this before on our own. Yes, Damien is not here. I am not impressed with the slacker.
He's got a day job.
I don't care about his day job. The number one priority in any of our lives is this podcast.
Ooh, very demanding.
I know I am, but it's the only way we're ever going to get worldwide domination.
What? We can't do it without Damien? Yeah, thanks.
Well, he's part of the three. It's now just two men and a duck as it was last week. Anyway, coming up on the show today, it's me and Darren. It's just going to be us two nattering and talking. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. If you want to get in contact with the podcast, you can do. Head over to threemenandamicrophone.co.uk, fill out the contact us form, and that will come straight through to the studio, i.e. my email box. And you can find us on all the social media as well. Right, as he's not here, let's crack on with the show! That will really annoy him. He might pop on. We're not quite sure. When we record, as we're recording this on a dark Wednesday evening, he may well decide to appear. I'm not sure. I've sent over the invite, so if we suddenly sort of get a "Oh, hello, darlings," then we know he's here.
Is he working away or something?
I don't know. I think that's probably what he's told his wife.
Oh, right.
What he's actually doing, I don't know. What happens on those work trips stays on those work trips.
So he could be at a swingers convention or anything, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could be.
Oh, nice.
He could be at a nudist park. You never know.
Ooh, it's a nudist park. No thanks.
They might be having their...
like watching a rude version of Peppa Pig. Please don't leave that in. He will rip me for that next week.
Oh, no, that's staying in. Don't you worry. That's definitely staying in. So, yeah, no Damien today. He's off doing things to do with his mega company that he owns. His Amazon alternative to recruitment or whatever.
He reminds me of Noel Edmonds without the beard, to be honest.
Why?
Because he's like he's big.
So that's the difference then. When he's on camera, you're going, Damien, you look so well, you've lost so much weight. And now when he's not here, you're just going, oh yeah, he's just a big pig. Looks like Peppa Pig. That's what you're saying to him. It's rude.
I'm all right when he's not here. I can't do it to his face. Damien, if he's listening to this, by the way, at a later date, Damien, you look incredible, but because you're not here, I'm sticking my foot in.
So yes, hope you enjoyed last week's show. I thought it was one of the funniest we've done for a while.
My wife laughed again.
Oh, did she? At which bit?
The annals of time. Please go back and listen to that bit, or go onto our social media pages and find the trailer for that, because that bit alone, with no context, is hilarious. Yes,
it's very funny. It's a very funny episode. If you're listening to the first if you're listening to us for the first time, I stumble over my words quite a lot. But thank you so much for downloading this episode of the show, or if you're listening on any of the other platforms we're on. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. If you like what you hear, go and share the word, share the love for the podcast. Shall I play the advert that we've... No, I won't play the advert. Shall I play the advert?
Is it embargoed by you yet or not?
Yeah, it might not be out yet.
I'll leave it there.
I'll tell you a story, listeners, dear listeners. So we've made an advert, and in fact I've made a couple of adverts. So I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to try and do yet, but we've made an advert that I've spent a lot of time doing, and I sent them out to Darren and Damien. Really excited about them. I'm really, really happy with them. I'm very, very happy, genuinely happy with my editing skills of it. I think it's one of the best edits I've done on a video. Really, really enthused. Really, really happy. Send it out. That's what I get back.
I replied straight away.
You did not reply straight away.
I saw it come up on my phone and I replied. I thought you'll be well happy with that. I've just said, yeah, that's good.
You didn't though, not straight away. It was about a day later.
Was that a day later?
Yes, Darren.
Sorry.
Darren.
It's because I made you go to sleep on my notifications. So the podcast chat
What
that
do
we've
you
got.
need? What?
So the podcast chat we've got on text, you can make it go to sleep so you don't get notifications.
Why?
Because you two are like
Right, no. Now we need to have...
Indian bracket.
We need to have words. So are you in on this podcast or are you not in on this podcast?
Yes, I am. I'm just saying that, you two, when you start, you're just like ping, 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 ping. And
You know why? Because you never flipping get involved, ever.
And then a day later, I'll have a check of it and go, oh, yeah, okay.
No,
Yeah.
right. You need to turn us off. You need to on-silence us. I'm not happy with that.
If you're going off at 11 o'clock at night when I'm in bed, I will not be happy.
It never goes off at 11 o'clock at night. I'm normally in bed by 11 o'clock at night. Just turn it back on. And you've got no excuse now because you're not doing your stupid breakfast show. You're doing your drive time show.
Yes,
So turn it back on.
I will do. After today, I'll turn it back on.
Right. I'm going to test you.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a
You're gonna
message.
say- Yeah,
And
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
if you don't reply within 10 minutes, I know you've not done it and I'm not going to be happy.
Okay. Yeah. Slap wrist. Thank you very much.
I will be writing that into your formal review at the end of the year.
It works for Clarkson, May, and Hammond. We're not quite sure it works for Antrobus, Lee, and Barstow. But they're doing it anyway. You're listening to the Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
And a milk bottle you're drinking out of.
It's a work water bottle.
Oh, right. Yeah. On brand.
It's quite a nice one, though. It's proper metal insulated.
I don't like those ones. I like the ones where you suck, pop, and
Let me just click that now. Suck and pop.
the traditional. You go.
Yeah. Anyway, how's your week been, Darren?
Oh, it's been
We
very
last
good.
spoke.
It's been very good. I'm doing the fat fight thing. Not as much success as there is with Damien's fat fighting.
Just to let people know, if you hear a cough, it's Darren's
My
little
daughter
girl
in that room there.
in the next room.
She's not got nothing dodge that we're all looking out for. What might be spreading? She's just got a normal cold. She's a 4-year-old, so she picks up this, that, and the other from school, which I've got a sore throat as well. So, yeah,
Lovely.
it's got a bit of a cold, bless her.
So yes, if you hear a cough, it's that.
Yeah. Or if you hear somebody crying, she's shoving Calpol in her. Get to sleep.
The recommended dose, of course,
Yeah, not a double dose.
with a shot of whiskey for good measure.
Yeah. So getting back on track to the story anyway, I've had a really good week. I've not fell off the wagon or anything like that, which is quite good. But the problem is Saturday I did have a takeaway.
Right.
Just the one.
That's fine.
But our usual takeaway person has closed and they're relocating somewhere. So we had to use a different one that we've never used before.
Okay.
So I ordered the usual, but from a different supplier. So it was a chicken tikka masala with a cheese naan, but I like extra cheese on it. I like it loaded with cheese.
Yeah.
Right.
So nice and healthy. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, and it came about an hour before the fight that happened. Right.
The fight.
The fight off the telly, AJ.
Oh, okay. The boxing. Right.
Yeah. The one where he didn't bother turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a lovely takeaway. And I had a bit of this cheese naan. And it was a bit stringy inside. And I thought, oh, that's a good piece of cheese, that is. So, you know, when you get stringy in your mouth, you get your tongue and you try and break the cheese string, as it were.
Yes.
It wouldn't break. It was quite sharp. So I pulled it out and it turned out to be a grey hair.
Oh, no.
There was a grey hair in my cheese naan from the takeaway on the weekend.
A long grey hair.
Yeah, because I put it on my knee and it wrapped round the top of my knee.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh dear. And did you complain?
No, I finished the takeaway off, but I threw the cheese naan away.
Why didn't you complain?
I don't like complaining. I'm
British.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not complaining. I don't like confrontation.
No, that is. And have you checked their food score, their food hygiene rating?
I daren't, no.
It's probably a 1.
My wife did question why did I finish the rest of the takeaway as a whole off. I'm not wasting the money.
Yeah, but you won't complain.
But I left the cheese naan. I threw it on the floor.
What, literally in your living room?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
We got wooden flooring, and I literally threw it onto the sofa next to me, in between me and the wife. She went, "Don't put it there,"
Tramp.
and then I just threw it on the floor afterwards. And she went, "Don't put it there either."
You tramp. That's just wrong. Was it in a bag or just literally you threw it on the floor?
Just literally threw it on the floor.
Oh, the grease.
Yeah, but it's a wooden floor. We can clean that up. If it's a carpet, I wouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have done it anyway. It's just trampy.
Anyway.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that's what happened to me.
Lovely. I don't think I've ever had that experience, but
What would you have done if you had? I know you would have complained.
I would have. Yeah, I would have complained.
But would you have finished the other part of the takeaway off?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm not that weird then.
No, you're not weird for finishing it off, but I would have complained about it.
Yeah, I feel like
To be
I should have
fair, I
done.
probably would have eaten the cheese naan as well.
Clean edit. I'm even doing the captain's job for him now. From these three media, this is the Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
So it's almost, it's officially autumn now. So we've had a long spell of nice, warm, dry weather. The past week has been wet, miserable, and cold. So I've put the fire on, and I posted a picture on social media, and people were sort of like, "It's too early for that. It's not that cold." It's like, it's nice having a proper open fire as well. It's not like a gas fire. It's a proper log fire, and we've got coal and we've got lots of logs. It's like, it's that time of year. The bake-off is on, Strictly's on, the nights are drawing in. It's time to put the fire on and curl up in front.
A bit early.
Do you reckon?
Because I'm still in my shorts. And I did comment on this, didn't I?
You did?
Yeah. And I said, way too early. Incidentally, the same conversation happened to me and my wife the same night you posted that picture, because she asked to put the heating on. And I said, no, not until we've had the first frost.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
It is. You've got children in the house. You can't have a cold house is unhealthy.
It's not a cold house. We've got insulation. We've got pajamas. We've got onesies. You know, there's no point.
That is such a dad thing to say. So I bet when you were younger and you were at home with your mum and dad, and you were sat there and you were like, oh, it's really cold. It's really cold. Can we put the heating on? Your dad's going, we're not putting the heating on until the snow falls.
Yeah, my dad said,
I don't pay for that. You put that heating down. Yeah. It's such a dad thing to say, and you are now turning into that.
Yes.
You are turning into an old man.
Do you not think it's a bit early for this fire?
I don't care if because it's October almost, end of September, almost October. We live in a rural location. It was about 6 degrees outside last night. That's cold. That's heating weather.
It's still too early.
Why?
I'm still in my shorts, Ian.
Just because you're in your shorts doesn't mean the rest of the household has to freeze.
It's just I could not believe I could see an open flame and a roaring fire. If it's November at the earliest, yeah, it's fine. It's November, bonfire night, all that kind of stuff. Halloween, end of October. It's still September. Only a week ago, we were driving around with the windows open on the car.
Yeah, but a week ago, it's 21, 22 degrees. Today, it was lucky if it got to about 14.
Still not cold enough for an open fire.
You're one of those people that will sit there in their shorts in December, aren't you?
No, because I'm quite nesh. Do you know what nesh means?
Now I didn't know what nesh was until I moved up here. I had no concept of that word.
Okay.
And then I moved up here and said, "Oh, you're nesh," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
The people in America that listen to us and all around the world and all around the UK, what does nesh mean, Captain?
Nesh means you feel the cold.
Yes.
I believe it's a very Staffordshire, up this way type East Midlands saying.
Well,
it was not a saying down in Redditch, dear.
No one's ever said Redditch like that before. It's been referred to the ditch.
Yeah. There's normally a swear word in front of it when it's said in Redditch.
Yes. No, but you are nesh.
I am quite happy to admit I do feel the cold.
Yes.
I get cold feet and cold hands, and there is nothing worse than cold feet and cold hands. So I like heating.
You know when you're getting old is when you feel the cold.
Yes.
That's the point. Brings me on to something else. Things you know you're getting older that you do and the penny drops. Things like when you've left school and you are at uni or at college, you're in the house alone, you have to change a light bulb on your own. That's when you know you're getting a bit older. Yeah?
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. When you have to look for the fuse box on your own and you can't go, "Dad, where's the fuse box?"
That's very true. And not knowing where the stock cock is for the house to turn the water off.
Yes.
That's a sign you're getting old as well.
Yeah. Making noises when you get up and down off the chair.
I've been doing that since I was about 21. I don't even think I need to do it anymore. I think I just do it out of habit when you stand up and it's like, oh, that noise.
Yeah. So, yeah. Have you got any of those?
Yeah, one of the things I think is when it gets to 10 o'clock at night and you sort of, when you were 20, 21, you were thinking, oh, I might just go out now. And now you look at your watch and you're thinking, do you know what? I think I'll go to bed. Or when you're on a Sunday evening and you turn on the TV and Antiques Roadshow comes on and you go, oh, yeah, man, I'm going to sit and watch this. I love this program. And it's like, I remember when my mum and dad used to watch Antiques Roadshow every Sunday night, and I thought it was the most boring program in the world. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, perfect Sunday night TV.
Yeah. You know when you're getting older, when you hear a theme tune that you don't actually remember the program, but you automatically go, great show that was. Yeah. Like, I've never watched Heartbeat, but I know the theme tune. And in my head, I go, oh, that was a great show. I never watched it. I was in bed by then.
Well, yes, because you used to be, you go through states. So when you're younger, you go to bed at about 7:30. What time does your daughter go to bed?
7:30, yeah.
Yeah, and now she's what, 4?
She's 4, yeah.
So it's sort of, you go to bed early when you're younger, and then you sort of get later and later and later and later. And then when you get older, you get earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier. I think by the time I'm about 50, I'll probably be in bed by about 8 o'clock.
These Three Media. 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
So next week, we've got what we hope will be, we're trying to get some guests on the show. Other podcasters and people like that we can talk podcasty stuff about. And we've got from a new podcast, which you can go and have a look for, which is called 40 and Fucked. If you're listening to this and that's 40 and bleep, then you can probably guess it begins with an F. It's Neil and Saffron Bentley who do a podcast. And I think the basic premise of it is that they are trying to lose weight after lockdown, shedding those lockdown pounds.
You've got it wrong.
Oh, am I? I've listened to some, not all, but I have listened to some. I thought that was the premise of it.
So they've arrived into their mid 40s at different points. So he's 46, going on 47, thereabouts. She's 42, 43. So they're in the 40s. And they realize that they feel miserable. They feel ill, miserable, and absolutely destroyed. And they're trying to sort their lives out. Oh, keep that in. They're trying to sort their lives out, their heads out, and everything. And they're going to do it on the podcast series, and keep themselves accountable for it as well.
Okay, so next week we hope to have Neil and Saffron Bentley from 40 and Fucked, the podcast, who will be on the show discussing their podcast, but also we're going to have a good talk because he's a radio person, she's a radio-ish person, so we've got a lot in interest, so it should be good, and we're hoping to get some more podcast people on the show as well.
See, I've met him before and I've worked at the same station as him a couple of times, but we've never actually worked together. So we've shared the same microphone, but at different times, if that makes sense.
Did you nick a show off him?
No.
Did he nick a show off you?
Loads of times, because he's really good.
Excellent. We can talk about that then.
Yeah. And also, she, from what because we've heard their podcast, she is very potty-mouthed. And I'm terrified of the woman, and I've never met her. Terrified of her.
I am sure she's lovely.
I've been out with girls like her before, and I've dumped them very quickly because they scare me that much. She calls him loads of names. Like, I hope you get your bleep ready for this, but she calls him dickhead.
Yeah, that's fine.
My wife called me that when we first met. I said, do that again, I'm through the door, love.
I like that as an insult. Oh, you're such a dickhead.
I hate it.
I like it.
See, but I'm Mr. Radio Guy, so I'm uncomfortable with saying naughty words. People who listen to this regularly know that I struggle with obscenities down a microphone.
You've been brainwashed not to allow yourself to swear in front of a microphone. Neil and Saffron Bentley will be here next week on the podcast. They're from 40 and Fucked. If you want to go and have a listen, do a search for that podcast title. It's 40 and F ** KED. And you can find them on all of the podcast apps. Neil and Saffron Bentley will be with us next week.
On your podcast feed, on your radio, and on your smart speaker. This is Three Men and a Microphone from These Three Media.
So I got to watch on Sky box office, the sports box office, the big AJ and fight. I don't know what his name is. I can't even pronounce it.
For those that don't know, who is AJ?
AJ Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
So the big fight that was on at the weekend, the weekend of this recording. And basically the fight he shouldn't never have turned up for because he didn't do anything.
Was it that bad? I thought it was I know he won he lost to a unanimous victory for the other bloke, but I thought it was I read he was not as bad.
No, he's just terrible. He was terrible. Anthony Joshua just kind of stood there and just let him punch him. What it seemed like anyway.
Not good for a boxer.
No. Anyway, but during the ad break, just before it kicked in properly, I was watching something. We were watching something on ITV before I turned over for the fight, and I saw an advert for the new version of the Larkins with Bradley Walsh.
God, okay.
And it looks really good.
It won't be.
I can't wait. Bradley Walsh is brilliant.
It'll be rubbish.
So I can't wait to see this. So in my very drunken state after the fight, I went to the BritBox and I started streaming episode 1, series 1 of the original Darling Buds of May.
When is Darling Buds? That's got to be what? Early 90s?
1990-ish. Maybe even 89, 90.
And?
It's ace.
Why though?
It's just so good.
Is it though? Or is it just... Because I remember watching it and just thinking it was very twee and rubbish back when it was
Actually
first
quite
out.
funny.
Is it though?
But the thing is, the character of Paul Larkin is a countryside version of Del Boy. When you go back and watch it, he doesn't pay tax, right? Yeah. He's wheeling and dealing on the farm as opposed to Nelson Mandela House, right? And those two things run regularly through the show, which is Del Boy, but on a farm.
No, see, Okay, so I've watched this week.
You're not. Is that it? Am I not allowed to talk about Darling Woods and May again?
No, because it's a very old program, and there's nothing wrong with very old programs, but it's
Catherine
just
Zeta-Jones was in it. I remember at 10 years old, something happened.
right. Okay,
And I think I was 10 years old when my dad had to speak to me.
what to give you the life lessons, the birds and the bees?
Yes, because Catherine Zeta-Jones was on the telly and I stood up and knocked the telly over. See where I'm going at with that?
Yes, I do know where you're going at with that. You fancied Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to just need to rub your trousers or something? You're like, oh yeah, I'm a man. Look at her.
Ooh, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That's just wrong on many levels. So I've watched this week. I've watched the new series of Sex Education, which we talked about last week, which was just the last couple of episodes were brilliant. If you've not watched it, watch it. Very good. So I've watched that. I'm just about to start the new big thing on Netflix, which is that Squid Game program, which is a Korean TV show that they've got out, which is the biggest show of ever they've done. They've launched. And
Is it bigger than The Floor is Lava?
The Floor is Lava?
Have you not seen that on Netflix?
No.
It's an American game where they can't stand on the floor because the floor is lava.
Is it stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this isn't. Squid Game is like a drama. It's like a ultimate reality TV show drama. So it's basically you fight to the death, I think. So I'm to start to watch that. So I'm watching all new stuff. Have you watched anything this week that was made this year or last year?
Have I watched anything that was... What's the question again? Made this year?
Yeah. Have you watched anything that was made in the last 2 years?
Yes. Celebrity Get Me Out of the Castle. And Game of Thrones.
That's not the last 2 years. Game of Thrones finished 3 years.
No, sorry. Game of Talent.
Game of Talent has... Well, how did you watch that this week?
No, in the past 2 years.
No, you idiot. In the past week, have you watched anything that was made in the past 2 years, is what I said. Not the other way round.
Have I watched anything this week that's made in the last 2 years? That'll be a no. Yes, I have, actually.
Not including the news.
Oh, yeah. That volcano in Palma.
Yeah, not including that. So you've watched nothing that's new. You not watched Bake Off?
No, because she's watching something else. I can't watch it.
You've not watched Strictly Come Dancing?
No, I don't like it anyway.
Gogglebox?
No, don't watch that.
You've never watched Gogglebox?
Yeah, I have watched it, but I've not seen any of the new version, no.
You need to watch new stuff, Darren, not stuff from the 1990s or 80s.
There is something that I have been watching by accident. It's an accidental watch.
Is that what you're telling the wife?
It's an accidental watch.
Right,
Do you know what those are?
Yeah, well, yes, normally when it's late at night and you accidentally turn over to the 900 channels on Freeview.
No. An accidental watch is somebody else is watching it and you find yourself knowing what's going on and you don't want to know what's going on because you don't care.
Okay.
It's called Married at First Sight.
Australia? Oh, no, the UK version.
There's a woman on it from Stoke.
Yeah.
Have you been watching it?
No. And the reason why, the first series they did of that was like a social experiment. So they had one couple, they went through the whole, they sort of showed you the process of picking these two people that were scientifically the best match for each other, and then they married them, and then that was the program. Now it's gone on to, they've taken over the Australian version, which is very much, is it about 13 couples get married and then they live in the same area, or they meet up after, and it's all a bit made in Chelsea type thing.
Do you know what it's like? It's like watching a serial version of Facebook.
Facebook updates.
Yes. Anyone who's having drama and they put it on Facebook, that's Married at First Sight, but on a weekly. Well, it's on daily, I think. Sure it is.
See, right, okay. So on Facebook, you get people that go, you're scrolling through and you've got, I'm really upset. And then people go, are you okay? What's going on? What's happening? And it's like, they just got all these people. And then they never reply to any of them. And you're like, you're just doing it for attention.
What, like I did in the last lockdown in January, going, I can't breathe at night, I need an apparatus.
Yeah, but that was a genuine offer. But it's these people, it's quite often women that do it. But it is these people that sort of go, oh, yeah. Oh, it's such a dramatic thing. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm so upset. I'm so annoyed. I'm so frustrated.
I love the ones that do the cryptic statuses. And they go, he can go out to the pub and spend that, but he won't come and see the kids. Anyway, lovely day today. What?
Yeah, but there is nothing quite as good as a breakup drama on Facebook when it starts getting nasty. You know,
I saw something. Sorry, yeah. I saw something unfold many years ago when Facebook first started. You know when people used to poke each other just to get their attention? Yeah.
Yeah, that's so retro, Darren. We don't do that anymore.
We used to poke somebody and then you turned out to have an affair or something in the end. But anyway. No. So I saw something unfold that was hilarious. And even in the infancy of Facebook, people were going, Facebook's just wrong. It's, you shouldn't be putting all that on Facebook. Somebody announced their pregnancy before they told their own mum.
No.
I saw this girl's mum come underneath and go, what is this?
That's really bad. There's a hierarchy of who you tell when you've got a major life event, isn't it? It's sort of your other half, children, parents, brothers and sisters, extended family, Facebook.
Yes.
Not sort of you, Facebook, everybody else.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
I know.
Yeah, you have to be careful though, because honestly, if you go for a job interview, the first thing that they will do before they even interview, if you sort of like make a short list, first thing they'll do is they'll look at your social media.
Do they?
Yeah. So you've got people now that are putting stuff on social media that in 5 years' time when they're trying to go a job will come back to them.
Wow.
You have to be very careful what you put on social media.
See, that's social media is your own platform. You can put whatever you want to put on there because it's your private life. It's yours.
Yeah, but if you make
if you go out and get trolleyed every Saturday and you put on, I go out and get trolleyed every Saturday, you're not going to not get a job because you go out the weekend and have a few drinks with your mates, are you?
Oh, you can do. Yeah. If you start putting photos of you get absolutely smashed on a Saturday night and you start putting them on, some employees will look at that and go, right, that's not the type of person we want working for us. It's bad. I don't think they should be doing it, but people do.
No, they shouldn't.
Because it's what I do in my private life doesn't affect my work or shouldn't affect my work. But yeah, you have to be careful. Yes.
Wow.
And it will only get worse.
Like what you're listening to? Then don't forget to rate and review the podcast wherever you listen. This is Three Men and a Microphone Podcast.
There's a new phrase that's knocking about, and it's only come to light since the pandemic. The new phrase is called the guilty cough.
I haven't heard of the guilty cough.
The guilty cough is what you feel when you have an innocent, you're clearing your throat. One of those, or, everyone has them. It's a natural reflex, whatever it is, from the...
A reflux. Yeah.
It's a natural thing to do. It's it almost is part of breathing sometimes, but what we feel these days is the guilt when we have a cough, because if you're in a supermarket, if you're anywhere and you just go, like that, you get the look as if to go, you're doing a test. Wear your mask.
Are you meant to be out?
Why are you out?
Yes. Are you not meant to be quarantining?
Are you telling me that you've not been anywhere? You've actually had to clear your throat in public and people are not stared at you?
No, because I haven't really been anywhere.
Oh, God. You're one of them, are you? You're still in your own private lockdown.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're not.
Well, I'm not in a private lockdown. I have been to places. I've been sort of to Cam Club, anyway, and photo shoots and stuff like that. But I haven't been. No, I'm still not going out everywhere. I'm still being a little bit cautious.
It's really sad.
Yes, I know. But, well, to be fair, I don't have any petrol at the minute to be able to go anywhere
Oh, God.
because of the stupid non-petrol shortage.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know? It's why do we do it? Why do we do this to ourselves? We did it with toilet roll, and we did it with at the start of the first lockdown. There was suddenly a shortage of toilet roll, and you couldn't buy a toilet roll for love nor money. And we were all guilty of doing it because when I went into Tesco's and I sort of saw some toilet roll on there, I thought I'll just get an extra one. I didn't need it. I wasn't running out. I wasn't having to use newspaper. But you do sort of go, well, there's it's self-perpetuating. It's a big word. Self-perpetuating. And it's the same with the fuel crisis. It started off with a couple of forecourts that didn't have any petrol because there was a shortage of drivers. Then the media, and I'm not just going to say it's not just one, because it was the whole of the media, were like headline stories. And then then people started going, I might need to fill up the car a little bit because I've got 3/4 of a tank. I might need to get some petrol for the places I'm not going to drive to. And then they go, and then there's more and more people, and then there's more, and then there's queues, and then it's all on Facebook. Oh, there's no petrol in Tesco's. All the BP garages run out of diesel. And then people go, oh, blimey, I better go and fill up. And then and then there's just more. And now we have a proper fuel shortage, which isn't a fuel shortage and isn't a crisis, but there isn't any fuel around. And it's just, there was no need for it. No need whatsoever. But it's that herd mentality sort of, because I've probably got about half a tank in my car, which is enough to do, 160 odd miles. I haven't done 160 miles in the last 6 months because I'm not driving to work every day. But people now will just go, oh, I think I better just go and get some. And they just add to it. And we all need to just calm down a little bit.
I like your little story there. It followed on nicely from the guilty cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you filled up?
Damien would have walked into the room then and just completely changed the story on me.
It was tied in to somehow.
Now we're on the subject of petrol. On Saturday and Sunday afternoon, there was a 24-hour period where there was none in Stoke-on-Trent at all.
Anywhere.
Anyway, I went to 15 petrol stations.
How much petrol did you have in your car?
A quarter.
Okay. And you do...
Don't forget where I work.
How far do you travel every day?
To Chester and back every day.
How many miles is that roughly?
Oh God! Put it this way: it's an hour. It's an hour and 20 minutes every day, one way.
So it's probably about 40 or 50 miles each. You're probably doing 100 miles a day.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand you need the petrol to get to work.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that were there, and I will say this, quite a few older people who were there filling up their car that will then sit in their garage in the perfectly positioned place for the next week. You didn't need your petrol. People that like Darren that have to go to work every day, people like, I don't know, I will say doctors and nurses, but anyone that's got to go out to work every day, they need their petrol. People like me who are now working at home, officially, we're now home based, I don't need to go and get petrol because the only place I'll drive to this week is probably Tesco's on Saturday.
My mum does a school run.
Well, that's
morning
fine.
and night, right?
Yeah.
It's not far. A quarter will do her for a week. She got me last night to go and find petrol for a car to fill it all the way up.
Can they not walk? I thought of this earlier actually because they were saying on a radio show I was listening to again. Oh, this woman came and said, "Well, I've got to take my children to school. I've got to take them to school, and I've got to pick them up every day." And I sort of think, can you not walk? I used to walk probably about 2 miles to school and back every day when I went from where I lived in Redditch to the Lees High School in Redditch. I walked. My mum only ever took me if it was absolutely chucking it down with rain or snowing and the school was open. That's probably the only time she ever took me. Every other time I walked. Why do we have to drive children to school every day now? You drive your child to school, don't you? How far is your school from your house? How long would it take you to walk there? Come on, Darren. How long would it take you to walk your child to school every day?
10 minutes.
So why do you go in the car?
Because we go the opposite way, Shushan doesn't go past the ice cream van.
No, that's just stupid. So, is your school is the school that she goes to in like a built-up area, in a residential area?
It's on the same estate.
It's on the same estate. You lazy animal.
2 streets away.
Walk, for God's sake. Oh my God. I can't believe that you don't walk your child to school. Why don't you walk to school? That's ridiculous.
It is.
That's really
No.
bad.
It's because I go straight to work from dropping her off. So I'll drop her off and then I'll go straight to work. So I'm not going to drop her off.
I know. That's not an excuse now, because you don't
Then
start.
walk straight back.
No. You don't start work until 12 o'clock now.
Yeah, but I have to leave at like 9 o'clock.
And what time does she start school?
Like 10 to 9, quarter to 9.
No, you see, just walk her.
Then I got to walk back to get the car.
Yes, just get her to walk herself.
She's 4.
So tell her don't cross the road when it's dangerous. There you go. Take your little legs off your pot, dear. It's fine. 4 years old. God, when I was young, 4-year-olds were up the chimney, sweeping chimneys and down, man.
Cleaning
Can't
it.
believe you drive to school. That's really bad. That's really bad. I live opposite a school, and I'm not joking. Every single morning, the stupid parents.
Yeah, but you live out in the sticks in the last of the summer wine, don't you?
Well, yeah, I can sort of understand why some of the parents, because it is a rural school, but they just park so badly. They block our drive.
Only momentarily while they drop.
I don't care if it's momentarily. You're a parent that blocks a drive. You're a parent that will park in front of a drive to drop your stupid little child off at school, aren't you?
No, but I do go to the edge of the gates.
No.
Driveway. So the driveway's clear.
No, this really bugs me, because if I was to go and park my car outside your house, would you be happy about it? So why in front of a school? Your silence tells me everything. Why in front of a school do you think it's appropriate to park your car in front of someone else's drive? And also to park stupidly so that there's 2 cars on one side and nothing else can get past. You're one of those parents. This is why I never had children. And the fact that I'm gay. And that is it for this week's episode of 3 Men and a Microphone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Damien. Damien, where are you? No, don't take that person back to the hotel room. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you. I like it when it's just me and you. It's nice. It is nice.
Don't say that too loudly.
No, I like, I do, because we never get a chance to,
No, we actually get a chance to speak.
Yes. without sound effect man going off. Ooh!
We're back again next week for more of the same. Damien will be here, but we'll also be joined by Neil and Saffron Bentley from the podcast 40 and me. They'll be on. We'll have some fun with them. If you want to find out more, head over to the website 3menandamicrophone.co.uk. Find us on all the social media platforms, 3 Men and a Microphone. You can have a look at some of the videos we've got on there and all that sort of stuff. If you want to get in contact with us, use those, drop us a message and say hello. Right, thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
No, not
3
good
Men.
night.
What?
Sorry. It's
Not good night. No, it's not, is it? It could be good morning or afternoon.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Bye.
goodbye. Goodbye. Non-time specific podcast. 3 Men and a Microphone has been a These Three Media production. Copyright 2021.
You've never got this far in the bed, have you?
No, and I'm wondering.
I've not heard this guitar riff before.
I've got 30 seconds left. Right, let's finish. I haven't used some of these beds for ages. This one. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a nice bed, that one, isn't it?
I like that one. I like the intro to that.
Yeah. And then you just leave it a little bit, and then you come in about now. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Welcome to the brand new Draft Time show.
Yeah, see, and I've got all the outs as well, so I've got... nice little out for that. What else have I got on here?